Hello and welcome to a new video. I'm Vanguard and today we'll be talking about Nier Automata and celebrating its 1-year anniversary. This will be kind of a retrospective video on its history, its achievements and my overall lovely experience. For the most part, this will be a spoiler-free video besides the vague mentions of ideas that the game presents and how the game pulls it off. But without further ado, let's get right into it. It really was a miracle on how this video game came to be when taking a look at its history. As a lot of you may know, this is the sequel to Nier Gestalt or Nier Replicant released in 2010, which sold poorly and received mixed reviews for its gameplay, visuals and side quests. However, the original Nier really was something special, truly a hidden gem amongst video games behind all its flaws. The story and music were where it truly shined, and it very much deserves respect for this. The characters were immensely defined, unique, relatable and memorable. The story was emotional and made you deep in thought afterwards, and the soundtrack was out of this world. I really cannot express how underrated this game was, and it's a shame that it had such little exposure. After the release of Nier, Yoko Taro, the director of the game, and Yosuke Sato, Square Enix producer, were looking into creating a sequel. There was uncertainty in whether or not this was a smart choice for obvious reasons. In the end, the decision was made, but they wanted to create a better and more action-oriented experience gameplay-wise. So they turned to Platinum Games, which turned out to be a fantastic blend in the end product. Production of the game began in 2014. 2017 was the year of release for the game. However, Platinum quickly ran into problems early in the year financially after the cancellation of Scalebound. So the release of Nier Automata was really their last hope. According to Kamiya, Taro saved Platinum Games from their dire situation, selling over 2 million copies as of today. I'm proud and happy that this game received the proper love in development and praise from the community that exists today. This game completely smashed the expectations of the creators, and it very much so is entitled to its success. So what makes me respect this game so much? In all my years of playing video games, I haven't ever looked at one and thought of it with this level of admiration. And it's this feeling that makes me wish it got more recognition than it did, despite its surpassing of expectations. The core strength of the game lies in its storytelling, narrative and world. It has and forever changed my perception on how I view video games, setting a whole new standard. For me, this game was a fine piece of art that I wouldn't hesitate calling a masterpiece. The story takes place in a world far beyond in the future, in the year 11,945. The game quickly paints a picture of humans and androids versus aliens and machines, a seemingly typical action sci-fi story that would have probably explored aspects of war and what makes humans different to androids. However, we all know this is not the case at all, as this is nothing more than assumptions made by the audience given the pattern of how other science fiction works craft their narrative. The game gives players multiple false assumptions in how the story will flow and the direction it takes from its marketing, introduction and characters. This all works splendidly in the favour of the delivery of the game, especially with that one defining moment in the story no one saw coming. The real tale lies beyond what the players are led to believe from this seemingly simple Japanese RPG, and it becomes much more personal than the audience would expect. Nier tricks its players to huge degrees, and I commend the developers for taking such risks, from its marketing to the game itself. And it's because of these wonderful, strange and odd traits, the articulation of important scenes never failed to be unpredictable. I don't think at any part late game, I saw where the narrative and conclusion were leading to. It is anything but predictable. Another element that is worthy of praise is the intricacies of details that make up the game. I don't know how the team behind Automata pulled it off to this extent, but there's so much in the lonely, haunting world that adds to the experience of the game. There's always something to be discovered, and you can really tell the people who worked on the game put love and care into their creation. In a book called The Art of Game Design, I recall these words: "When people play games, they have an experience. It is this experience that the game designers care about," which is nothing but true when looking at the people behind Automata who truly embody this idea, unlike some other companies. Multiple cutscenes foreshadowed minor and major events of the future. It was through these subtle hints that the game pulled it off so well. I was very scarcely confused in small features of many scenes, but brushed the details aside as it seemed to be of little significance. This is a game that doesn't spoon-feed you information in the slightest. In fact, it invites you to look for them. Many video games of today have brought us into the habit of not reading between lines, having major foreshadowing elements spoon-fed to us. And it's commendable that Nier took such risk, which is something I love, as it gives a satisfying, rewarding experience in piecing the story together. Even past the main storyline, the side quests actually add to the world building and some legitimate components of the main story. Furthermore, for the fans of the original Nier, there are small features that reference the past, which is another thing players can enjoy. I'd like to somewhat go back to the rawness of the game and talk about the themes and ideas that it deals with. The game is littered with philosophical ideas such as existentialism, nihilism, and human exceptionalism, with other themes or ideas such as stages of grief, loneliness, repetition of history, and etc. While I won't be going through each of these individually, I'd like to mention how rare it is to have such different, dark, deep ideas so distinguishable in a video game. Additionally, they all flow together fittingly, executed in such a raw manner that can really feel personal and even uncomfortable at times. It's a game that made me think several days afterwards, after putting my controller down. Finally, I'd like to dedicate one segment of the video talking about the music. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about audio. However, the music in Automata is near perfect, if not so for me personally. And if you know me, I generally dislike original soundtracks with vocals. My preference is instrumental soundtracks from games like the Kingdom Hearts, Zelda, Mario, and Sonic series. This game is filled with vocals and I absolutely love it. The lyrics of many of the soundtracks are made up and sung by Amy Evans in what she perceives to be a futuristic language 1,000 years into the future by jumbling different languages together. And this does suit and even enhance the setting of the world as it always matches a particular situation players are dealing with in a specific time. There's a 5-hour video on YouTube of all of the OSTs, each incredible on their own. It was no surprise for me last year that it won the Best Score Music Award of 2017. Well, that about wraps up this video. Now, despite all my praises, I don't want to give people the wrong idea that this game is for everyone. It's quite the opposite. This is a niche game that tells an in-depth personal story that won't resonate with everyone. But it's this new experience that Automata gave me that I adore. I'm so excited to see the future of where Nier will go and just the upcoming works of Yoko Taro in general. Recently, in a 1-year anniversary interview with Famitsu and 10 other members of the development staff, there's apparently one last secret no one has discovered, and it's said that the secret is quite unpleasant to the point that I wouldn't say any more on the topic. Furthermore, there was a short video with Yoko Taro recently showing his gratitude and announcing a fan event currently in works, which should be pretty cool for those who have access to the event. I'd also like to mention 2 channels that I watch that do brilliant videos on the Vanguard and Nier series, known as Clems and Valkyrie Aora. These 2 really do the game's justice when talking about it, and if you love the franchise, they are the quality people to go to. Anyways, thank you all for watching, leave your comments down below, and happy birthday to Nier Automata.